Welcome to Long Movie Practice Test 3. Next section. Agent Architecture. Question 1. In the early belief desired intention agent model, what do intentions represent? Option A. The desires the agent has committed to pursuing as active plans. Option A. The raw sensor data the agent receives. Option A. All possible goals regardless of commitment. Option A. The human scheduling policy. The correct answer is A. In Augie, beliefs model the world, desires are possible goals, and intentions are the desires the agent has committed to and is actively planning to achieve, structuring deliberation and action. Question 2. When agent as tool pattern means Option A. When agent is exposed to another agent as a callable tool by skill. Option A. Replacing all agents with a single script. Option A. Disabling tool calling entirely. Option A. Using a hardware tool to build agents. The correct answer is A. The agent as tool pattern wraps a specialized agent so another agent can call it like a tool, enabling composition and delegation while keeping a clean invocation interface. Question 3. Which are characteristics of the word-to-word agent-to-agent communication concept? Select all that apply. Option A standardized way for independent agents to discover and exchange messages. Option B port for agents built on different frameworks to collaborate. Option define message by task formats for requests and results. Option A requirement that all agents share one process and code base. The correct answers are A and A. Agent-to-agent communication standards focus on discovery, message by task exchange, and interoperability across independently built agents. They are explicitly not about forcing everything into a single process. Question 4. A workflow has a fixed, known sequence of steps with no branching. Which orchestration is most appropriate and efficient? Option A. A deterministic pipeline by chain rather than an open-ended autonomous agent. Option B. A fully autonomous agent with unlimited tool access. Option random selection of steps each run. Option N. No orchestration at all. The correct answer is A. For fixed, branch-free workflows, a deterministic pipeline is more reliable, cheaper, and easier to test than an autonomous agent. Reserve open-ended agent loops for tasks that genuinely need dynamic decision-making. Question 5. A router pattern in agent design is used to Option A. Classify an incoming request and direct it to the most appropriate handler by agent by tool. Option encrypt all network packets. Option store embeddings on disk. Option train the base model. The correct answer is A. A router classifies the request by intent, difficulty, or domain and dispatches it to the most suitable agent, tool, or model, a common building block for efficient, specialized multipath systems. Question 6. Thai set a recursion by iteration limit on an agent that can call sub-agents or loop. Option A. No bound runaway recursion or loops that would otherwise consume unbounded time and cost. Option A. Increase the model's accuracy. Option A. Make outputs deterministic. Option A. Disable tools. The correct answer is A. Recursion and iteration limits bound how deep or long an agent can loop or delegate, protecting against runaway cost and latency and forcing graceful termination or human escalation. Question 7. In a fan-out by fan-in orchestration, what happens? Option A. Torque is split across parallel branches, fan-out, and their results are aggregated, fan-in. Option A. Work runs strictly sequentially. Option A. The agent refuses to produce output. Option A. Embeddings are deleted. The correct answer is A. Fan-out by fan-in distributes independent subtasks across parallel branches and then aggregates their results, improving throughput for parallelizable work, while a join step combines the outputs. Question 8. Which design choices increase an agent system's fault tolerance? Select all that apply. Option A. Retrees with backoff and fallback paths. Option A. Graceful degradation to a simpler mode when a component is down. Option A. Isolating components so one failure does not cascade. Option A. A single shared point of failure for all agents. The correct answers are A and A. Fault tolerance comes from retreats by fallbacks, graceful degradation, and isolation that prevents cascading failures. A single shared point of failure is the opposite of resilient design. Question 9. A team wants both predictable control flow and some autonomous decision making. Which hybrid approach fits? Option A. A deterministic graph for the overall workflow with bounded agentic nodes for specific decisions. Option A. Make the entire system one giant unbounded agent. Option A. Remove all decision points so nothing adapts. Option A. Randomize the workflow each execution. The correct answer is A. A practical hybrid uses a deterministic workflow graph for overall control while embedding bounded agentic nodes where genuine dynamic decision making is needed, balancing predictability and autonomy. Question 10. THI is explicit state management rather than relying on the prompt alone, important in long running agents. Action. It lets the system persist, resume, inspect, and recover progress reliably. Action. It makes the model larger. Action. It is only useful for image models. Action. It prevents the use of any tools. The correct answer is V. Explicit externalized state allows long-running agents to persist and resume work, inspect intermediate progress, and recover from failures, which prompt-only context cannot reliably provide.
Next section. Agent development. Question 11. In an agent executor loop, what typically terminates the loop? Action. The agent emits a final answer, or a max iteration by stop condition is reached. Action. Only when the hub overheats. Action. Whenever agent loops run forever by design. Action I. Then the user closes the browser tab only. The correct answer is V. When agent executor iterates reason act observe until the model produces a final answer or a stop condition, max iterations, time by cost budget, explicit halt is met, which is essential to avoid infinite loops. Question 12. THI bind tools to the model with explicit schemas rather than describing them only in free-form prose. Action I. Schema binding yields structured, validated tool calls the runtime can execute reliably. Action. Prose descriptions are impossible to write. Action. Schemas make the model slower with no benefit. Action. It disables the model's reasoning. The correct answer is V. Binding tools via explicit schemas, names, typed parameters, produces structured, validated tool calls that the runtime can execute reliably, which is far more robust than relying on free-form prose alone. Question 13. Which are good reasons to externalize configuration, model names, web keys, limits from agent code? Select all that apply. Action. Enables environment-specific settings without code changes. Action. Leaps secrets out of source control. Action. Allows tuning limits by models without redeploying logic. Action. Guarantees the agent never makes mistakes. The correct answers are V, U, and A. Externalizing configuration supports per environment settings, keeps secrets out of code, and lets operators tune parameters without redeploying. It does not, however, guarantee correct model behavior. Question 14. When agent keeps calling the same tool repeatedly without progressing, which development time safeguard helps most? Action I. Track recent actions and detect repeated no progress calls to break or redirect the loop. Action U. Increase max token. Action. Remove the stop condition. Action I. Raise the temperature to 2. The correct answer is V. Tracking recent actions to detect repeated, non-progressing tool calls lets the runtime break the loop, redirect the agent, or escalate, a key safeguard against unproductive cycles. Question 15. That is the benefit of using callbacks by observability hooks during agent development. Action I. They expose internal events, pay calls, tool calls, errors for logging, tracing, and debugging. Action. They train the model automatically. Action. They increase the context window. Action I. They encrypt prompts. The correct answer is V. Callbacks by observability hooks emit internal events, model calls, tool invocations, tokens, and errors, enabling logging, tracing, debugging that are essential for understanding and improving agents. Question 16. Then should an agent use a structured tool, type multi-argument, over a single string tool? Action I. Then the action needs multiple well-defined, validated parameters. Action. However, single string tools are always better. Action. Only for image generation. Action I. Only when offline. The correct answer is V. Structured tools with typed parameters are preferable when an action takes several distinct inputs, because the schema makes arguments explicit and validatable, reducing the ambiguity of cramming everything into one string. Question 17. Which practices reduce flakiness when an agent integrates many tools? Select all that apply. Action. Validate tool outputs before feeding them back to the model. Action. 5 tools clear, non-overlapping responsibilities. Action. But timeouts so a hung tool cannot stall the whole agent. Action I. Expose dozens of near duplicate tools with vague names. The correct answers are V, U, and A. Rule-heavy agents are more reliable when outputs are validated, tools have clear non-overlapping roles, and calls have timeouts. Proliferating vague, overlapping tools degrades tool selection. Question 18. How is it useful to make agent runs reproducible? For example, fixed seeds, recorded inputs during development. Action. It makes debugging and regression testing far easier when behavior is non-deterministic. Action. It guarantees production users get identical answers forever. Action. It increases urban memory. Action. It removes the need for evaluation. The correct answer is V. Making runs reproducible, recording inputs, fixing seeds where possible, tames the non-determinism of TI agents, making bugs reproducible and regression testing reliable during development. Question 19. When agent must call a tool that occasionally returns slightly different formats. That is the most robust development response. Action. Normalize by validate the tool output into a consistent schema before the model consumes it. Action. Assume the format is always identical. Action. We draw varying output directly with no checks. Action I. Disable the tool whenever the format changes. The correct answer is V. Trapping a variable format tool with a normalization by validation layer that produces a consistent schema shields the agent from format drift and keeps downstream reasoning reliable. Question 20. How is dependency injection of tools by clients rather than hard coding them helpful for testing agents? Action. It lets you substitute mocks by stubs for external services in tests. Action. It makes the model bigger. Action. It encrypts the tools. Action. It removes the need for tools. The correct answer is V. Injecting tool by client dependencies allows tests to substitute mocks or stubs for real external services, making agent tests fast, deterministic, and isolated from network flakiness.
Next section, evaluation and learning. Question 21. Enable context precision measures. Option where whether the retrieved contexts are relevant and ranked usefully for the question. Option if how fast embeddings are computed. Option the dollar cost of the term. Option and the number of bubbles. The correct answer is V. Context precision evaluates the relevance and ordering of retrieved passages for a query, complementing context recall, did we retrieve all needed info, and faithfulness by answer relevancy in AVA evaluation. Question 22. Hierarchy by N are often insufficient for evaluating open-ended agent or AVA outputs. Option where they measure n-gram overlap with references and miss semantic correctness and groundedness. Option A. They require no reference text. Option A. They directly measure hallucination. Option I. They are the gold standard for reasoning tasks. The correct answer is V. Ohian and Yen scored n-gram overlap against references, so they miss semantic equivalence, factual correctness, and groundedness, which is why semantic and judge metrics are favored for open-ended outputs. Question 23. Which techniques strengthen evaluation of an agent's safety and robustness? Select all that apply. Option A. Yet teaming with adversarial prompts. Option A. Testing on out of distribution and edge case inputs. Option A. Hacking behavior against prompt injection attempts. Option I. Really testing the happy path with clean inputs. The correct answers are V and A. Robustness by safety evaluation uses red teaming, out of distribution and edge case testing, and prompt injection probes. Testing only clean happy path inputs gives a false sense of security. Question 24. Pairwise or by preference evaluation with entire judge typically produces. Option A. Win rate indicating how often one response is preferred over another. Option A. An exact numeric accuracy against ground truth. Option A. Temperature reading. Option A. Token count only. The correct answer is V. Pairwise preference evaluation asks a judge which of two responses is better and aggregates the results into a win rate, useful for comparing model or prompt variance when absolute ground truth is hard to define. Question 25. What is benchmark contamination and why does it matter? Option 1. There's data leaking into training data, which inflates benchmark scores misleadingly. Option A. Learning benchmarks on a dirty uber. Option A. Using too many benchmarks at once. Option A. A type of network attack. The correct answer is V. Benchmark contamination occurs when test items appear in training data, inflating measured scores and making them poor indicators of real-world generalization. Filled out or fresh evils mitigated. Question 26. The model fine-tuned for a narrow task now performs worse on general queries. Which adjustment most directly addresses this? Option A. Digs in general distribution data and by or use parameter efficient tuning with a lower learning rate. Option A. It ran even longer only on the narrow task. Option A. Increase batch size to infinity. Option A. Remove the validation set. The correct answer is V. Low curve catastrophic forgetting, mix general distribution examples into the fine-tuning set and prefer parameter-efficient methods, with conservative learning rates, preserving general capability while adapting. Question 27. Which are appropriate uses of an automated evaluation harness in A for an agent? Select all that apply. Option A. Learn a regression suite on every change to catch quality drops. Option A. Compare new versus current versions on key metrics. Option A. Weight deployment on meeting minimum quality by safety thresholds. Option I. Guarantee the agent is flawless in all real-world cases. The correct answers are A and A. Medieval Harness INI runs regression suites, compares versions, and gates deployment on quality by safety thresholds. It improves confidence but cannot guarantee flawless behavior on every real-world case. Question 28. 10 tuning generation parameters, lowering temperature generally. Option A. Makes outputs more deterministic and focused, reducing randomness. Option E. Increases randomness and creativity. Option A. Has no effect on sampling. Option I. Changes the model's parameter count. The correct answer is V. Higher temperature sharpens the sampling distribution toward high probability tokens, producing more deterministic, focused outputs, often preferred for tool calling and factual tasks, while higher temperature increases diversity.
Next section, deployment and localling. Question 29. Rubbing a Udalti instance of a layer enables Option A. Partitioning a single urban into isolated instances for multiple workloads. Option E. Merging many urbans into one logical core only via software. Option A. Disabling urban scheduling. Option I. Converting urban into urban. The correct answer is A. Loyalty instance urban layer partitions a single supported urban into multiple isolated instances, each with dedicated compute and memory, allowing several smaller workloads to share one urban with predictable isolation. Question 30. Why Written Model Ensemble lets you Option A. Train multiple models by preprocessing steps into a single served pipeline. Option E. Run only one model with no preprocessing. Option delete models after each request. Option I. Train models end to end. The correct answer is A. Written ensembles compose multiple models and by post-processing steps into one served pipeline, so a single request flows through the whole chain server side, reducing round trips and client complexity. Question 31. Increasing the maximum batch size at the inference server generally has which trade-off? Option A. Higher throughput but potentially higher per request latency. Option E. Lower throughput and lower latency simultaneously. Option low effect on either throughput or latency. Option A. It only affects disk usage. The correct answer is A. Larger batches raise our throughput by amortizing overhead across requests, but can increase per request latency as requests wait to be batched, so batch size must be tuned against latency wires. Question 32. Which techniques help a single urban fleet serve more concurrent agents cost effectively? Select all that apply. Option A. Continuous batching of requests. Option E. Quantized models to fit more capacity per urban. Option A. Batching and request deduplication. Option I. Allocating one dedicated urban per idle user. The correct answers are O and A. Continuous batching, quantization, and catching by deduplication raise the number of concurrent users a urban fleet can serve cost effectively. Pinning idle users to dedicated urbans is wasteful. Question 33. When mobile gateway in front of agent services commonly provides Option A. Both rate limiting, routing, and observability at a single entry point. Option O. Yodel training. Option A. Vector indexing. Option A. Hubble cooling. The correct answer is A. When mobile gateway centralizes authentication, rate limiting, routing, and observability for backend agent services, simplifying security and operations behind one consistent entry point. Question 34. Horizontal scaling differs from vertical scaling in that horizontal scaling Option A adds more instances by replicas, while vertical adds more resources to a single instance. Option always means buying a bigger single urban. Option reduces the number of servers to one. Option A is only possible on others. The correct answer is A. Horizontal scaling adds more replicas behind a load balancer. Vertical scaling adds one by memory to a single instance. Stateless agent tiers usually favor horizontal scaling for elasticity. Question 35. Thai run load testing before launching an agent service. Option A. Do find capacity limits, latency under load, and auto-scaling behavior before real users arrive. Option A. Do train the model faster. Option A. Do increase the model's accuracy. Option A. Do delete unused embeddings. The correct answer is A. Load testing surfaces capacity limits, tail latency under concurrency, and whether autoscaling reacts correctly, so teams can right size and tune the system before real traffic exposes problems. Question 36. Quantizing weights to 4.8 on supported Yavi hubs primarily aims to Option A. Increase inference speed and reduce memory while largely preserving accuracy. Option B. Improve training data labeling. Option A. Increase precision beyond 4.3 to Option A. Convert the hub to a. The correct answer is A. 4.8 quantization on capable Yavi hubs reduces memory footprint and accelerates inference while aiming to preserve accuracy, a common optimization in NCP-AAI and NVIDIA for efficient serving.
Next section, cognition and memory. Question 37. In the evac loop, the observation step provides Option A. The result returned from executing the chosen action by tool, fed back for the next thought. Option A. The agent's internal reasoning. Option A. The final user-facing answer always. Option A. The utilization metric. The correct answer is A. In evac, after the agent reasons, what, and acts action, the observation is the tool by environment result returned, which the agent incorporates into its next reasoning step. Question 38. Then retrieving from memory, balancing recency and relevance means Option A. Considering both how recent and how semantically relevant a memory is when ranking it. Option A. Only ever using the newest item regardless of topic. Option A. Only ever using the most relevant item regardless of age. Option A. Ignoring both factors and choosing randomly. The correct answer is A. Effective memory retrieval scores candidates on a mix of recency and semantic relevance, and often importance, so the agent surfaces context that is both pertinent and timely rather than optimizing one factor alone. Question 39. Which are valid memory eviction by forgetting policies when a memory store grows large? Select all that apply. Option A. Evict least recently used or low importance items. Option A. Summarize and compress old memories instead of keeping raw detail. Option A. Apply time-based expiry to stale entries. Option A. Leap every memory forever with no management. The correct answers are A and A. Memory management uses tile by importance eviction, summarization by compaction, and time-based expiry to keep stores useful and affordable. Ever managing growth harms retrieval and cost over time. Question 40. Hierarchical planning helps complex tasks by Option A. Decomposing a high-level goal into sub-goals, then planning details within each. Option A. Forbidding any decomposition of goals. Option A. Executing random actions until success. Option A. Removing the goal entirely. The correct answer is A. Hierarchical planning breaks a high-level goal into sub-goals and plans within each, managing complexity through layered abstraction rather than trying to solve everything in one flat step. Question 41. A sub-goal fails midway through a plan. That is the most robust agent behavior. Option A. Detect the failure, replan or try an alternative, and avoid blindly continuing. Option A. Ignore the failure and proceed as if it succeeded. Option A. Immediately crash the whole system. Option A. Restart from scratch every time with no learning. The correct answer is A. Robust agents detect sub-goal failures and respond by replanning, trying alternatives, or escalating, rather than blindly continuing on a false premise or crashing the entire workflow. Question 42. Why might an agent maintain a goal stack or explicit plan representation? Option A. To track active and pending sub-goals so it can resume and stay coherent across steps. Option A. To increase our clock speed. Option A. To encrypt the model weights. Option A. To avoid using any tools. The correct answer is A. When explicit goal stack or plan representation lets the agent track active and pending sub-goals, resume after interruptions, and maintain coherence across a long multi-step task. Question 43. Which statements about working short-term memory limits are accurate? Select all that apply. Option A. It is bounded by the model's context window. Option A. Overflowing it forces truncation or summarization. Option A. Putting too much low-value content in it can crowd out important context. Option A. It is effectively unlimited. The correct answers are V and A. Working memory is bounded by the context window, overflow forces truncation by summarization, and filling it with low value content can crowd out important context. It is decidedly not unlimited.
Next section, knowledge in integration. Question 44. Semantic chunking differs from fixed size chunking by option A, splitting text at meaningful boundaries, topics by sentences, rather than arbitrary character counts. Option A, always producing larger chunks. Option A, ignoring the text content entirely. Option A, removing the need for embeddings. The correct answer is V. Semantic chunking segments text at meaningful boundaries, for example, topic or sentence by paragraph shifts, instead of arbitrary fixed lengths, producing coherent chunks that improve retrieval relevance. Question 45. A corpus includes scan calls with no text layer. That ingestion step is required before chunking by embedding. Option A, way to extract text from the images. Option A, increasing the embedding dimension. Option A, guarding the vector database. Option A, covering the temperature. The correct answer is V. Vacant documents without a text layer must be processed with AI to extract machine-readable text before they can be chunked, embedded, and indexed for retrieval. Question 46. Which factors matter when choosing an embedding model for AI? Select all that apply. Option A, domain by language match with your data. Option A, vector dimensionality and its storage by compute cost. Option A, maximum input length token limit of the model. Option A, the color theme of the documentation site. The correct answers are V and A. Embedding model selection weighs domain by language fit, vector dimensionality, quality versus cost, and supported input length. Cosmetic factors like a doc's site theme are irrelevant. Question 47. Providing citations by source links alongside a EVA answer primarily improves. Option A, trust and verifiability by letting users check the supporting sources. Option O, inference speed. Option H, urban memory usage. Option I, the model's parameter count. The correct answer is V. Surfacing citations ties answers to their retrieved sources, letting users verify claims and increasing trust, transparency, and auditability, an important property for enterprise EO systems. Question 48. Deduplicating near identical chunks before indexing helps because Option A, it avoids redundant retrieval results and wasted context space. Option A, it increases the number of duplicate answers. Option A, it slows down all queries. Option A, it deletes all unique content. The correct answer is V. Deduplicating near identical chunks keeps the index lean and prevents the retriever from returning multiple copies of the same content, preserving precious context space for diverse, relevant information. Question 49. When enterprise EO system must respect per user document access, the correct approach is to Option A, enforce access control during retrieval, for example, metadata filters by permission, so users only see allowed docs. Option E, index everything and hope the model hides restricted content. Option A, visible retrieval for all users. Option A, grant every user access to all documents. The correct answer is V. Access control must be enforced at retrieval time, typically via metadata by permission filters, so the agent only retrieves documents the requesting user is authorized to see, rather than trusting the model to self-censor.
Next section, Yebinio platform. Question 50. Which Yebinio tool is designed to evaluate by benchmark guides as part of the Yelo ecosystem? Option A, Yelo Evaluator. Option Yebinio Apping. Option A, Yebinio Asset Systems. Option A, Yebinio Over. The correct answer is V. Yelo Evaluator offers standardized evaluation and benchmarking for layers in the Yelo ecosystem, complementing customization, Yelo Customizer, and runtime safety, Yelo Guardrails. Question 51. Which Yebinio component focuses on large-scale data curation by preparation for training and customizing layers? Option A, Yelo Curator. Option Yebinio Curator. Option A, Yebinio Eva. Option A, Yebinio Weaver. The correct answer is V. Yelo Curator handles large-scale data curation, deduplication, quality filtering, and preparation, helping produce high-quality datasets for training and customizing. Question 52. Which are accurate descriptions of Yelo deployment flexibility? Select all that apply. Option and run in cloud, data center, or on a supported workstation. Option exposes standardized ways for easy integration. Option packaged as containers for portability. Action I really runs inside a single proprietary cloud and nowhere else. The correct answers are O and A. GA microservices are containerized, expose standard VBS, and run across cloud, data center, or supported workstations. They are not restricted to a single proprietary cloud. Question 53. A team wants to add guardrails that block off topic and jailbreak attempts in their agent. Which ABU tool directly provides this? Option A. ABU guardrails. Option ABU written dynamic batching. Option A. ABU Hanoi. Option A. Vector database. The correct answer is Va. Geo Rails is purpose-built to add topical, jailbreak, safety, and fact-checking rails around the applications, directly addressing off-topic and jailbreak protection for agents. Question 54. Thai is denser AD often used under the hood of VA for the serving. Action B. It provides optimizable kernels and runtime features that maximize the inference performance. Action. It labels training data. Action. It manages Kubernetes clusters. Action. It is a vector database. The correct answer is Va. GA commonly relies on Tensor A to optimize the inference on ABU verbs with techniques like optimized kernels, in-flight batching, page gap caching, and quantization powering AES performance. Question 55. For an enterprise needing supported, secure, validated-based software across its infrastructure, the appropriate ABU offering is Option A. ABU Main Enterprise. Option ABU Course Experience. Option A. ABU Canvas. Option A. ABU Broadcast. The correct answer is Va. ABU Main Enterprise delivers enterprise-grade support, security, and validated-based software, including EA and EO components, across certified cloud and data center infrastructure for production deployments.
Next section. Learn, monitor, maintain. Question 56. One body service level indicator is best described as action, the actual measured value of a reliability metric, for example, measured per 99 latency. Action, a marketing target with no measurement. Action, the model number. Action, what type of prompt template. The correct answer is Va. When body is the measured value of a service metric, latency, error rate, availability, and Y is the target for that body. Together they drive monitoring, alerting, and reliability decisions. Question 57. Which practices reduce alert fatigue while keeping an agent service well monitored? Select all that apply. Action. Alert on symptoms tied to user impact by breaches, not every minor blip. Action. The sensible thresholds and deduplicate by group-related alerts. Action. Route alerts by severity to the right responders. Action I. Page on call for every single log line. Correct answers are U and A. Effective monitoring alerts on user impacting symptoms by breaches, uses tuned thresholds with deduplication by grouping, and routes by severity. Paging on every log line causes fatigue and missed real incidents. Question 58. After a production incident, a blameless post-mortem primarily aims to action, identify root causes and systemic fixes without punishing individuals. Action, assign blame to a specific engineer. Action, delete all logs of the incident. Action, increase overclock speeds. The correct answer is Va. A blameless post-mortem analyzes root causes and systemic contributing factors to prevent recurrence, fostering a culture where engineers report issues honestly rather than fearing blame. Question 59. Thai version both prompts and models together in production. Action. Behavior depends on the prompt model combination, so coupled versioning enables reproducibility and safe rollback. Action. Prompts have no effect on behavior. Action. Only the version matters. Action I. Versioning prevents the model from running. The correct answer is Va. Agent behavior emerges from the specific prompt and model pairing, so versioning them together ensures reproducibility and lets teams roll back to a known good combination when a change degrades quality.
Next section. Graffiti and compliance. Question 60. Which approach most directly reduces hallucinations in a knowledge-grounded agent? Option A. Round responses in retrieved sources and add fact-checking by citation rails. Option A. Raise temperature to encourage creativity. Option A. Remove all retrieval and rely on memory. Option A. Find sources from the model. The correct answer is Va. Hallucinations drop when answers are grounded in retrieved evidence and validated with fact-checking by citation rails, so claims must be supported by sources rather than freely generated. Question 61. Which steps help address bias and fairness in an agentic-based system? Select all that apply. Option A. Evaluate outcomes across demographic groups for disparate impact. Option A. curate and audit training by retrieval data for representativeness. Option provide mechanisms to appeal or correct harmful decisions. Option I assume the model is unbiased because it is automated. The correct answers are O and A. Litigating bias involves measuring outcomes across groups, auditing data for representativeness, and offering recourse for harmful decisions. Assuming automated systems are inherently fair is a known pitfall. Question 62. When agent receives a request that violates policy, for example, disallowed content, the safest behavior is to Option A, refuse appropriately and where useful offer a safe alternative. Option comply fully to satisfy the user. Option rash to avoid responding. Option I, violently produce the content but hide it. The correct answer is V. For policy violating requests, the agent should refuse in line with its guidelines and, when appropriate, suggest a safe alternative rather than complying, crashing, or covertly generating disallowed content.
X section. Human oversight. Question 63. Knowing the agent's reasoning and the sources behind an answer mainly supports Option A, explainability, letting users understand and validate the agent's conclusions. Option U, foster by inference. Option H, smaller model size. Option I, eliminating the need for evaluation. The correct answer is V. Surfacing the agent's reasoning and supporting sources improves explainability, enabling users to understand, validate, and appropriately trust or challenge the agent's conclusions. Question 64. For a high stakes decision an agent recommends, a good oversight design ensures the human reviewer can Option A, weigh the rationale and evidence and approve, edit, or reject before action. Option E, only click approve with no information. Option more nothing because the agent is always correct. Option A, approve only after the action already executed. The correct answer is V. Meaningful oversight of high-stakes recommendations gives the reviewer the rationale and evidence plus genuine authority to approve, edit, or reject before the action is taken, not after. Question 65. Which patterns help calibrate user trust in an agent appropriately? Select all that apply. Option A, communicating confidence and limitations honestly. Option B, citing sources for factual claims. Option escalating uncertain or high risk cases to humans. Option A, always presenting answers as certain regardless of confidence. The correct answers are O and A. Appropriate trust calibration comes from honest confidence by limitation signals, source citations, and escalation of uncertain or high risk cases. Presenting everything as certain encourages harmful overreliance. That completes the practice test. Review the explanations for any questions you missed, and good luck on your certification exam.